here for 200.
Got plenty of chips too. How much respect does he have for Allison's raise?
Well, sometimes players like to play momentum. You know, he's won a couple of pots early, and he might want to see a flop here.
I'll call.
Call.
Exactly
Pass.
what he's done.
Pass.
Pass.
And it'll be 150 on Chris Higgins.
Pass.
And Chris has made a good lay down there. He doesn't want to get involved. He's in the big blind. He's out of position with these two players.
So Allison
Two
taking
players.
off a flop as the raiser. It's come bitty bitty bit.
300.
It hasn't scared her.
Pass.
Well, look at that. That's Allison showing experience there. She's immediately represented an overpair. Obviously, she had a draw to straight anyway, 2 overs, but she's played that perfect and hung very quickly past.
So Allison from Milton Keynes showing a bit of the cannon fire there.
Pass.
The button is on Gordon. He's in the best position on the table because everybody has to act before it gets to him.
Game on here, and it's Hung's time to play, but he was watching Sean look at his cards for quite a while before he even looked, gauging interest. Jack 8 suited.
Raise to 300.
And boy, does Hung mean to roll over this
Pass.
game.
I think he's certainly trying to. I mean, that's a big raise. He's making a raise that doesn't want to be called.
Allison's got Hung strangled, but no way of knowing it. They'll give him another 75 pounds in his craw. How are they going to stop this player?
Well, let me tell you, Jesse, the way he's playing at the moment, as the blinds increase, he could completely dominate this heat.
That's how it works. It's a much harder game to play, I find, because online you're behind a screen. You can run around like an idiot when you've hit the high cards and start screaming at the screen and asking people to raise you and everything. Whereas if you're actually on the table, you have to control yourself, and that's the hardest part of it, where you have to keep your face still.
For more information on the next series of Late Night Poker Ace, visit the Channel 4 website at www.channel4.com/poker.
Pass.
50 pounds
Pass.
is the bet around.
Pass.
And the
Pass.
thick sunglasses of Chris Higgins laying the cards down. Blind on blind. Simon has gotten hammered from this position by Hung Luke.
Call.
This time he's just calling.
Check.
Check. Thank you.
These boys playing a flop for 100 pounds.
2 players.
They've both got a little something here, Simon.
Yeah, well, Hung's got the flush draw.
Second pair for Simon. He'll have to be wary about bluffing.
100.
Not only does Hung have more chips, but he seems to have had a good measure of Simon tonight.
I noticed that when Simon just limped in, he shot a quick glance across
Pass.
to Hung as if to say, "Are you going to raise me?"
Well, that'll be, it's not a huge pop, but huge for Simon's confidence, I think. He finally took one off his nemesis.
Yeah, they all count, even if they're 125s, 175, anything that keeps you in the game.
Call.
Call.
Gordon first to speak,
Pass.
and he has
Pass.
just called for 50.
I would have
Pass.
preferred to see a raise there, Jesse, to be honest. He could have picked the blinds up, not allowed them to see a cheap flop, especially when you've got the chip leader sitting there with all those chips.
Pass.
Hung not even wanting to call for 25, but Sean will take the freebie, and we are head up here. Board coming down.
2 players.
And that's what happens.
Absolutely, Jesse. That's what happens when you don't raise pre-flop. You allow someone to see the flop with a pile of goo and they catch a bit of it.
Raise to 200.
And now he's compounding the mistake. Sean's not the sort of person who's going to lay his hand down straight away. He's not going to believe him for an overpair.
Gordon needs an ace or jack, or he's going to have to keep on bluffing.
Check.
He raised Sean on the flop,
200.
and now he's banging and bashing it in.
Trouble is, he's bet the same amount. Is the queen gonna scare him off, or is he gonna call again? No, he's won. He's won it for him. Very lucky there. He should have bet a bit more on the turn, but he won the pot anyway.
Well, Gordon playing with his own strategy, brute force and a bit of bluff, taking that pot down.
What I've learned from watching poker on telly is that you need a very good bluffer. So you do. And it's not always the cards, it's how you play them. I'm going to play it tight, but if I don't get the cards and get an opportunity to bluff, I'll bluff.
Gordon moves up to second place after that hand, while Hung Luke is still out in front with 28-25. Simon's the short stack with 1350. Blinds 25 and 50. It's Gordon Murray in the big blind. Of course, those blinds are forced bets which get the action going.
Raised to 200.
Chris Higgins under the gun. He had the opportunity to look at his cards before making a bet, and well, that's why he's chosen to raise. Raise to 100 with the 2 tens.
Pass.
I'll call.
Call.
Wow.
Pass.
Yeah,
Pass.
Hung's in position there. He's on the button.
Pass.
He's pretty confident that he can outplay Chris if he thinks Chris has missed the flop.
2 players. $200.
And now Chris is betting 200. He can't like that flop. 2 red 10s and an all black board.
Yeah, and Hung's sitting here. He's made bottom pair here. It's just a question of whether he thinks that Chris has got any of this or whether he's just representing a hand.
Chris might think he's bluffing, but he's not. And we've seen Hung move before the flop, but making a move on the flop's a whole different part of poker.
Well, one of the things Hung's thinking is, why would he bet if he's made a flush?
I'll raise another one. Or 2.
Another 2.
Yeah.
Raised to 400.
Minimum raise from Hung. It almost looks like he wants a call.
And Chris is going to check back here to see if he's got the 10 of spades. No, they're still red.
Unfortunately not.
Call.
Oh, this pot's getting big, and neither one of these guys can like their hand. Do they know where they're at? Hung's, oh my. Any spade would now make a flush, but neither have it.
Check.
Oh, this is showing some class here from Hung. He knows that there's no way that Chris has got a flush.
I'll stick all them in. 400.
I think this is more.
I think you're looking at possibly your heat winner here, Jesse. This guy is deserving of a shot at the final the way he's
500.
playing today in these early stages. He's totally outclassing these opponents.
Well, there's nothing Chris can do about it. Not a player in the world would call right there. Pair of lonely 4s, 4 spades on the board. Does that stop Hung Luke? Not a bit. He stuck the money in like he had an ace-high flush. Oh, my Lord. So the blinds have been raised 50 and 100 now. And Simon, they have to raise the blinds. That's what keeps the action moving in a tournament. And if they never raise the blinds, well, we could be here for days.
I think we would be, yes.
But I mean, that's what makes the players play.
Absolutely. The blinds increase, and virtually you're forced into a position where you have to start playing some hands. And of course, that's what makes this game exciting.
So Hung under the gun, laying it down, but Sean waiting patiently with the ace-jack.
200.
And 200 now is only double the bet, whereas before it might have been bigger. And here comes Gordon.
Raise 500.
Well, I like this raise by Gordon. He's only raised it up another 300. He's inducing Sean to call here.
Pass.
He's giving Gordon a hard look. This is the second time
Thank you.
Gordon has raised Sean.
This could be a big pot, Jesse.
It's a massive pot. Chris Higgins laid down ace-jack as well.
2 players.
It's already over 1,000 in.
Check. I'm all in. All in.
Gordon's wasting no time. Come over the top of this.
Well, I can't blame him. You know, there's a There's a nice few chips out there to win, and he's happy to pick those chips up and put himself into a strong second position.
And he's done Sean the favor of showing the Cowboys. Sean knows he made a good fold there on the flop.
Pass. Pass.
£100 on Simon here.
Pass.
Hung from the button king. Could be a playable hand here.
300. Raise to 300.
And he's tripled the bet. Quick call from Sean with a far better hand.
Well, I like this play from Sean. He wants to take on Hung. He's chip leader and he wants to get as many of those chips as possible. He could have just quickly re-raised and picked it up there and then, but he's decided to take a flop. Let's hope it works out for him.
700 in the kitty.
2 players.
And that is a perfect flop for Sean. Does he want to play the trapper?
Well, he's glanced down at his chips here, and that usually means he's going to make a bet. In actual fact, he would be better off checking here and allowing Hung to represent a hand.
This is the first bit of resistance that Hung has met up with, where if he makes a move, it'll be very wrong. Get to see his exit strategy here, Simon. Surely he can't be thinking of raising.
Not at all, no. He's thinking about what's happening here. The fact that Sean is looking at him, he might be aware that this is a common tell that a player has got a hand. When they stare at you, it's normally in defiance. The reason Hung's taking his time here, he wants to try and say to the players, look, you know, I'm dominating this table. I had a hand. Oh boy, and he wants to try and outplay. He wants to try and outplay Sean on the turn. This may be a slight weakness in his game here.
He's called the 200. Here's the turn, and that has been a huge card for Hung Luke. He's got a straight draw, a flush draw.
500.
Now this is a lovely play by Sean. Now he's checked it to allow Hung to represent something. And although Hung's got the massive draw, Sean's got the real hand here.
Any king, any 5, any 10, any club, and he's hit the club on the river. That's a flush.
I'm all in. All in.
And what an unbelievable card for Hung Luke on this river, Simon. How is Sean going to lay this hand down?
Oh,
he's
dear.
taking him out.
Okay, we got an all-in. It's Sean is all-in, playing against Hung. Hung shows king, 6 of clubs. He made a flush, king high, and ace, queen for Sean. He has a pair of queens, which is not enough. Hung wins the pot, and Sean is our first player out. Well done.
Sean Ridge Coates Aluminum. He has just been struck by lightning. Wet feet on the cement. He is out of here.
Compared to online gaming, live game is absolutely incredible. The stress is unbelievable. It's easy to sit at home in your chair and watch the telly and tell you what they should and shouldn't do. But when you're sitting in that chair, that's hard. Very, very hard. I thought he was bluffing when he went all in because he was chip leader. And that's what you get when you call a bluff. But I'd stacked a couple of winning hands before that. King 3 came in the middle. 6-4. 3-5-2 came in the middle. So I wasn't going to stack another good hand. And that's the outcome.
Is your sensitive skin irritating the man in the mirror? Nivea for Men's Sensitive Moisturiser is alcohol, colour and fragrance free. It also soothes and calms the skin. Look and feel better. Better than ever. Sensitive Moisturiser, only from Nivea for Men.
I'm Donald McIntyre, an officer in the Territorial Army. The first thing the TA looks for in an officer is the ability to lead. This begins at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst and continues right through training.
Right, in you come. Key to success.
Because if you can't do it here, how are you going to do it on operations?
This is the D-30. Village to be secured, weapon destroyed.
In, move! Move in! Give me an engineer.
27 days a year on regular Army pay.
Charges placed. Out. Stand by. Firing now. Okay, get it checked.
Interested? Go to ta.mod.uk for your free TA guide.
artist of every generation has attempted one. Are they self-obsessed or just the easy option? Why do artists paint self-portraits? Matthew Collins explores the cult of the self-portrait in the Me Generations, Saturday at 7:15 on 4.
Well, the cards are coming out. The blinds are going up. 5 players left in this tournament. And Simon, now 75-150. It's really a second stage of the tournament beginning here.
Yeah, absolutely, Jesse. I mean, this is the level where you're going to start to see some movement, and also, especially if we lose a player, you'll see players like Alison change gear completely.
Well, talk about changing gears. First hand to the new level, and Alison has raised it up to 400.
I raised to 1,000 and whatever.
Oh my. Well, Alison's never gonna believe this. He's got 2 queens. This could be an unlucky day for Alison Cheeseman.
Let me see, Alison's put 400 in the pot. She's got 1,200 left. This is going to be all in, Jesse.
Boy, if she could make a lay down here, it would be professional style, but this is only the 2nd or 3rd hand she's played tonight. It's the biggest hand she's seen.
She has to make a decision here. Is it even money, or has he got the bigger overpair?
Okay, 450 more.
She's raising. She is not going to like the situation. She's probably hoping to see ace, king, or a lower pair, but the 2 queens is going to have her gasping for air and all in.
Showdown, please.
1 pair.
Pair of 10s for Alison, pair of queens for Hung.
Very unlucky here for Alison.
Brutal. Could it be a 10 on the flop?
The flop comes. Ace,
it's not.
King, 7.
There's a backdoor flush out there for Alison. Anything but diamonds or a 10, and she will be walking.
She needs a 10, and only a 10. The last card is a
Queens
king.
have held.
Tremendous composure there from Alison. She played a great game. She waited for an opportunity. She got the opportunity, but Hung, he is running all over this table.
Experienced player Alison Cheeseman, but that's poker, and she's been hung out to dry.
I thought